a domestic crisis. Perhaps he just wanted to talk. They weren't exactly close friends anymore, but did Harold really have any close friends? He'd never been the gregarious type, and Wickford was hardly a humming metropolis. Maybe it wasn't anything to worry about after all. Maybe it had nothing to do with the tests. Snow was starting to stick as they approached Exit 10. A mile away, the airport was a ground-hugging cloud of sodium orange. Another few hours, and they would shut it down. At the bottom of the ramp, they passed a squad car by the side of the road, its red and blue warning lights turning noiselessly. A Pontiac was stopped a little further on, one wing wrapped around the crash barrier. The driver, a woman, was standing in the beam of the headlights, hugging herself, staring at the damage as if she couldn't believe what she was seeing.
"Should have fitted them winter tires," said the cab driver, shaking his head. "Folks always leave it till they damn near kill themselves. Guess they think the bad stuff only happens to the other guy, right?"
The Medon Diagnostics building was an anonymous two-story block of brown brick with recessed rectangular windows and a large empty courtyard. Like most of the properties in the area, it was surrounded by a tall wire mesh fence, but the main gate stood open, unattended. Tate himself was waiting in reception. Elliot could see him through the glass doors, pacing slowly up and down, still wearing his white lab coat. He paid the cab driver and went inside. Tate did his best to look cheerful, giving a hearty welcome and shaking Elliot's hand as if this was just a routine social visit. But when he saw the expression on Elliot's face, the smiling stopped.
"Mike, I'm sorry about all the—"
"I'm not supposed to be here, Harold," said Elliot, glancing at the uniformed security guard behind the front desk.
"Oh."
Tate closed the door.
"Don't worry about that, for God's sake. My office is just down here."
The inside of the building was budget high-tech, with brightly painted tubular furniture and blown-up photographs of micro-organic life hanging on the plain white walls. Elliot followed Tate in silence.
"What a terrible night," said Tate. "And they say there's more to come."
Tate was 46 years old, a year younger than Elliot, although of the two men he looked much the older. His short-cropped beard had more than a trace of gray, and although he still had most of his hair, his high forehead was deeply lined, like the fragile skin around his eyes. With a little more color in his cheeks, he could easily have passed for a Navy man. Elliot's looks were gentler, his complexion smoother, and he had friendly brown eyes that created a beguiling impression of vulnerability. It was something women in particular responded to. They walked down a long neon-lit corridor with yellow doors on the right-hand side leading into a series of private offices. A pair of bright red double doors on the left marked the entrance to the laboratories. Through the glass panels, Elliot glimpsed workbenches, sinks, a computer terminal, and shelves loaded with flasks and beakers. Beneath one of the panels, a sign read, "Contamination risk. Face masks and gloves to be worn beyond this point."
"I'm just through here,"
Tate said, punching a number code into a keypad and opening one of the yellow doors.
"How's Margaret, by the way?"
Elliot didn't answer at once. He wondered what the hell Tate was playing at. Was he afraid of being overheard? If so, by whom? Except for the security guard, the whole place seemed empty.
"Fine,"
he said warily.
"How's Susie?" "Oh, fine. Looking forward to Christmas, you know. She loves this time of year, especially when it snows. She's a real kid about it."
Tate closed the door. The office was large, with tables and filing cabinets along two walls and a desk at the far end. Potted plants, folders, coffee cups, and stacks of computer printouts competed for space on every surface. A window looked out across the parking lot to a dark expanse of ground that Elliot assumed was a park or a playing field.
"Is this about her, Harold?"
Tate looked puzzled.
"Who?" "Susie. Are you two having problems, or—"
No, good grief, no. Why would you—" He seemed to think better of the question, gesturing instead towards an upright chair beside his desk.
"Please, Michael, have a seat. I'm sorry if you— It's turned into such a terrible night. Maybe we should have a drink. What do you say?"
Elliot took off his coat and sat down. It was bad news. It had to be. Bad news for him. He stared at the bundles of printouts lying on Tate's desk, and suddenly he didn't want to know any more. Not yet.
"I was in the den," he said.